The quantum detection array beneath NORAD's Cheyenne Mountain complex lit up like a Christmas tree at exactly 3:47 a.m. Mountain Time. Dr. Sarah Chen stared at the readings, double-checking her calculations before reaching for the red phone. Her hand trembled slightly, but her voice remained steady as she spoke the words humanity had rehearsed for decades. Watchtower protocol activated. This is not a drill. Within minutes, the Joint Chiefs were assembled via quantum-encrypted channels, their holographic forms flickering in the dim light of the underground command center. General Michael Okonjo, chairman of the Joint Chiefs, leaned forward in his real chair thousands of miles away, his weathered face illuminated by the soft blue glow of the holographic display. Dr. Chen, explain. 12 objects just dropped out of quantum space at the edge of our solar system, Chen reported, bringing up a three-dimensional display of the solar system. Red dots appeared beyond Neptune's orbit, moving with deliberate precision. Their mass signatures matched the theoretical profiles we extracted from the Ganymede artifact. The room fell silent. The Ganymede artifact, discovered 15 years ago, buried in Jupiter's largest moon, had been humanity's first concrete evidence of advanced alien civilizations. More importantly, it had served as a warning. Time to Earth orbit. Admiral Jessica Torres asked, her hologram flickering as she adjusted her position. At their current velocity, 72 hours, Chen responded. They're making no attempt to mask their approach. In fact, she manipulated the display, highlighting energy signatures. They're broadcasting on multiple frequencies. First contact protocols. General Okonjo's laugh held no humor. Just as the artifact predicted. They always come bearing gifts first. The Ganymede artifact had been more than just alien technology. It had been a message from another species that had faced the same situation Earth now confronted. The hegemony, as they called themselves, had a pattern. Peaceful first contact, cultural exchange, technological gifts, and then, once they had mapped a planet's defenses and weaknesses, annihilation or subjugation. Operation Looking Glass is ready, Colonel David Weber reported from his station. All surface installations are projecting appropriate technological signatures for a pre-quantum civilization. Space Defense Grid is in silent running mode. Underground manufacturing facilities are masked. As far as their sensors can tell, we're exactly what they expect, a primitive species just beginning to explore our solar system. The deception had taken years to perfect. While humanity publicly launched chemical rockets and maintained an apparently modest space presence, the real work had happened in vast underground complexes and hidden lunar facilities. The quantum technology reversed engineered from the Ganymede artifact had given Earth a fighting chance, but only if they maintained the element of surprise. The hegemony ships are launching what appear to be diplomatic shuttles, Chen announced, tracking smaller objects separating from the main fleet. Their trajectory suggests they plan to make landfall near the UN headquarters in New York. General Okonjo nodded grimly. Time to put on our best primitive faces. Admiral Torres is the Artemis battle group in position. Hidden in the lunar shadow, quantum signatures masked, Torres confirmed. The EDS Hyperion and her battle group are maintaining position in the Kuiper Belt, ready to cut off their retreat when the time comes. And Project Prometheus. Dr. Chen allowed herself a small smile. Final testing completed yesterday. The quantum fold drive exceeded all expectations. They have no idea what they're walking into. The general's hologram stood, his presence filling the command center despite his physical absence. Ladies and gentlemen, humanity has prepared for this moment for 15 years. The hegemony expects to find an easy conquest. Instead, they're going to learn why you should never judge a species by its apparent technology level. He turned to Colonel Weber. Begin diplomatic protocols. Roll out the welcome wagons, express our awe at their advanced technology, and play up our divisions and weaknesses. Let's give them exactly what they expect to see. As the command center burst into activity, Dr. Chen returned to her quantum detection array. The red dots representing the hegemony ships grew slowly larger on her display. In 72 hours, they would learn that humanity had long since ceased to be prey. In the depths of space, the hegemony ships continued their approach, their commanders confident in their technological superiority, unaware that they were falling into a trap centuries in the making. Earth's apparent primitive status was about to become their greatest weapon. Deep beneath the surface of Mars' Valles Marineris, Captain Elena Santos walked through the crystalline corridors of humanity's greatest secret. The underground shipyard stretched for kilometers, its vast chambers carved by quantum drilling technology that officially didn't exist. Above her head, holographic displays showed the status of Earth's hidden fleet, while beneath her feet, quantum computers calculated battle scenarios at speeds that would have made the approaching hegemony ships look primitive. Status report, she commanded, entering the bridge of the EDS Phoenix, humanity's most advanced warship. The bridge crew, handpicked from every nation on Earth, worked at their stations with practiced efficiency. Lieutenant Commander James Chen, her tactical officer and no relation to Dr. Chen at NORAD, looked up from his quantum interface. All systems are green, Captain. The new quantum fold drive is operating at 147% of projected efficiency. Weapon systems are fully integrated, and the adaptive shield matrix is stable. Elena ran her hand along the smooth surface of her command chair, marveling at how far humanity had come. The Phoenix wasn't just a warship. It was a testament to human ingenuity. While the world above maintained the illusion of chemical rockets and satellite television, down here they had created something that would make the hegemony question everything they thought they knew about technological progression. Message from Earth Command. Lieutenant Sarah O'Connor announced from communications. The hegemony diplomatic delegation has landed in New York. There, she paused, a smile playing at her lips. They're very impressed by our primitive satellite technology and our quaint nuclear power plants. A chuckle rippled through the bridge. The hegemony's patronizing attitude had been expected, predicted even by the Ganymede artifact's warning. Their civilization had followed the same pattern across hundreds of worlds. Appear superior, offer gifts of outdated technology, map defenses, and then strike. They never expected resistance. They certainly never expected their own technology to be used against them. Show me the diplomatic feed, Elena ordered. The main view screen shifted, showing the scene at the UN. The hegemony ambassadors, tall humanoids with iridescent skin and four-fingered hands, were presenting what they claimed was revolutionary faster-than-light technology to an appropriately awestruck UN Security Council. They're offering us their previous generation quantum drive, Commander Victor Rossi, her chief engineer, observed with barely contained amusement. The same one we reversed engineered and improved 5 years ago. Elena nodded. How's their scanning going? Exactly as predicted, James reported. Their passive sensors are mapping what they think are our defense capabilities. The quantum mimetic field is feeding them exactly what they expect to see: scattered missile silos, primitive radar installations, and a handful of nuclear submarines. The real Earth Defense Force, hidden in underground bases and cloaked orbital platforms, remained invisible to their scans. The hegemony's overconfidence was working against them. They saw what they expected to see: a primitive civilization ripe for conquest. Captain, Sarah called out, her tone suddenly serious. New transmission from Earth Command. The hegemony fleet is deploying what they're calling cultural exchange satellites in high orbit. Weapons platforms, Elena translated. Right on schedule. Lieutenant Commander Chen, are our countermeasures in place? James nodded, bringing up a tactical display. Hundreds of tiny dots appeared, representing quantum-shielded microsatellites that had been waiting dormant for years, ready to neutralize their entire orbital network the moment they try to activate their weapons. Elena stood, walking to the center of the bridge. Status of the rest of the fleet. All ships report ready, Sarah confirmed. The Artemis battle group maintains position behind Luna. The Hyperion battle group is still undetected in the Kuiper belt. All planetary defense installations are armed and masked. Underground manufacturing continues at full capacity. The Phoenix herself was humanity's masterpiece, a quantum-powered warship that could outmaneuver anything in the hegemony fleet. Its adaptive shield matrix could absorb enemy fire and redirect it back at its source. The quantum fold drive could create localized space-time distortions, making the ship appear to be in multiple places simultaneously. Message from General Okonjo, Sarah announced. The Hegemony diplomatic team has presented their final gift, access to their galactic communication network. They're requesting permission to install relay stations on Earth. The final piece, Alina murmured. Those relay stations would be the command and control centers for the invasion fleet. How long until they realize their gifts aren't being installed quite the way they intended? Their next scheduled system check is in 6 hours, James reported. That's when they'll notice their technology has been modified and integrated into our defense network instead of providing them backdoor access. Alina returned to her command chair, feeling the weight of history on her shoulders. Humanity had spent 15 years preparing for this moment, turning the hegemony's own playbook against them. When they finally showed their true intentions, Earth wouldn't just be ready. They would redefine what the hegemony thought possible. All hands, she announced, her voice carrying throughout the ship. This is the captain. In a few hours, the hegemony will discover their deception has failed. They will likely respond with immediate aggression, expecting to find a helpless, primitive world. Instead, they're going to learn that humanity's greatest strength isn't our technology. It's our ability to adapt and overcome. She looked around at her crew, seeing the same determination reflected in every face. Prepare for combat stations. The real first contact is about to begin. The hegemony's response was as swift as it was predictable. Within minutes of discovering their compromised systems, the massive alien vessels broke orbit, their weapon systems charging with enough power to level continents. Emergency broadcasts flooded Earth's communications channels, demanding immediate surrender and threatening global annihilation. In the Phoenix's bridge, Captain Santos watched the hegemony fleet's deployment with calculated calm. They're moving into their standard attack formation, she noted, exactly as the Ganymede artifact predicted. Hegemony command ship is broadcasting, Lieutenant O'Connor reported. System-wide transmission. Put it through. The imperious face of Hegemony Fleet Commander Vorthak filled the main screen, his iridescent skin pulsing with anger. Primitive deception will not save you. Your species has proven itself unworthy of integration. Prepare for. Alina cut the transmission with a casual gesture. I think we've heard enough threats. Battle stations. Throughout the Mars shipyard, klaxons sounded. The Phoenix's quantum drive hummed to life, its energy signature carefully masked by the surrounding canyon walls. Similar scenes played out across the solar system as humanity's hidden fleet prepared to reveal itself. Earth Command confirms Operation Checkmate is go, Sarah announced. All defense grids activated. The hegemony ships launched their first strike, a devastating barrage of quantum-tipped missiles designed to destroy Earth's supposed nuclear capability. Instead of finding helpless targets, the missiles encountered sophisticated quantum shields that hadn't existed moments before. The attacks dissipated harmlessly against defenses reversed engineered from the hegemony's own technology. They're detecting our defensive grid, James reported, monitoring the enemy's reaction. Confusion in their ranks. They're attempting to recalibrate their sensors. Alina allowed herself a small smile. Time to show them what else we've learned. Signal the Artemis group. From behind Luna, Admiral Torres's battle group emerged. 6 warships, each powered by advanced quantum drives, appeared in perfect formation. The hegemony fleet's response was immediate. Half their ships broke off to engage this unexpected threat. Phoenix actual to all ships, Alina broadcast. Execute Operation Uprising. The Valles Marineris erupted. Massive hangar doors, disguised as natural rock formations, slid open. The Phoenix rose from Mars' surface, accompanied by 3 sister ships. At the same moment, Quantum signatures flared across the solar system as humanity's full military capability revealed itself. Hidden bases on Europa and Titan launched their defenders. The Hyperion battle group emerged from the Kuiper Belt, cutting off the hegemony's retreat. On the Phoenix's tactical display, James tracked the enemy's reaction. Their formation is breaking down. They're attempting to regroup around their command ship. Not this time, Elena commanded. Signal all ships. Execute attack pattern Sierra. Let's show them what these ships can really do. The Phoenix's quantum fold drive engaged. Space itself seemed to twist as the ship created localized distortions in the fabric of reality. To the hegemony sensors, the Phoenix appeared to be in multiple places simultaneously, each image as solid and threatening as the real ship. Multiple targets locked, James reported. Quantum cascade weapons armed. Fire. The Phoenix's main weapons, designed using principles extracted from the Ganymede artifact, released their payload. Instead of conventional energy beams or projectiles, they fired precisely calculated quantum distortions that bypassed the hegemony shields entirely. Where they struck, ships found their own energy systems turned against them. Direct hits on 3 enemy vessels, James announced. Their quantum cores are destabilizing. Elena watched as the first hegemony ships began to fail, their own power plants becoming their undoing. Signal from Earth Command. The Artemis group has broken their northern flank. The Hyperion group is engaging their rear elements. Through the tactical display, Elena observed humanity's grand strategy unfolding. Years of preparation had created not just advanced technology, but entirely new ways of thinking about space combat. The hegemony's rigid tactical doctrine, successful against countless less advanced civilizations, now worked against them. Enemy ships attempting to enter quantum space, Sarah reported. They're trying to retreat. Activate the quantum space inhibitors, Elena ordered. Another gift from the Ganymede artifact. The ability to locally prevent faster-than-light travel. The hegemony ships found themselves trapped in normal space, their superior numbers meaning nothing against an enemy that had spent years preparing specifically to defeat them. Commander Vorthak is broadcasting again, Sarah announced. This time, Elena allowed the transmission through. The hegemony commander's face showed none of its earlier arrogance. How? He demanded. Your species was primitive. We monitored your development for decades. You monitored what we wanted you to see, Elena replied calmly. Your own arrogance blinded you. Did you really think you were the first species to try this? To offer false friendship before conquest? She stood from her command chair, facing the alien commander directly. The Ganymede artifact warned us about you, about your patterns, your weaknesses. Everything we've done for the past 15 years has been in preparation for this moment. The Ganymede. Vorthak's face registered shock. Impossible. That civilization was destroyed eons ago. They left us more than just a warning, Elena continued. They left us the tools to ensure their fate wouldn't become ours. Your empire's pattern of conquest ends here. Commander Vorthak's command ship hung in space, its once pristine crystalline hull now scared by quantum cascade impacts. Around it, the remnants of the hegemony fleet fought a losing battle against forces they'd never imagined possible. Humanity's ships danced through space with impossible precision, their quantum fold drives creating patterns that defied conventional tactical doctrine. Multiple hegemony vessels are powering down their weapons, James reported from his tactical station aboard the Phoenix. They're signaling surrender. Elena nodded, watching the tactical display as more enemy ships went dark. The hegemony's rigid command structure was crumbling in the face of an opponent who had systematically dismantled their every advantage. But something about Vorthak's reaction to the Ganymede artifact troubled her. Lieutenant O'Connor, she called. Access the deep archive files on the artifact. Search for any references to the hegemony's early history. While Sarah worked, the battle continued to shift in Earth's favor. The Artemis battle group had successfully contained the northern fragment of the enemy fleet, while the Hyperion group methodically disabled any ships attempting to break formation. Captain, Sarah's voice held a note of discovery. I found something. According to the artifact's records, the hegemony itself was once a victim of conquest. They were invaded using the same methods they now employ. Alina's eyes narrowed. Put me through to Commander Vorthak. The alien commander's image appeared on screen, his iridescent skin now pale with stress. Before he could speak, Alina raised her hand. You were conquered, weren't you? Before you became conquerors, someone did to your people exactly what you tried to do to us. Vorthak's silence was answer enough. The difference, Alina continued, is that when it happened to you, you chose to become like your oppressors. You adopted their methods, their beliefs about superior and inferior species. It was the only way to survive, Vorthak responded, his voice heavy with centuries of justification. The strong survive. The weak. That's where you're wrong, Alina interrupted. Strength isn't just about technology or military might. The Ganymede civilization understood that. They could have given us weapons, warships, everything we'd need to destroy you. Instead, they gave us knowledge and let us find our own path. What else could we do? Vorthak demanded, but there was uncertainty in his voice now. When superior technology appears, one must either submit or be destroyed. That is the way of the universe. No, Alina said firmly. That's the lie you tell yourselves to justify what you've become. Look at what humanity accomplished. We took your technology, improved it, and developed entirely new applications. We did it not because we wanted to conquer, but because we wanted to survive, to protect ourselves and maybe, just maybe, break this cycle of conquest. James interrupted softly. Captain, incoming transmission from Earth Command. General Okonjo requests permission to join the discussion. The general's hologram appeared on the bridge, his presence commanding even across vast distances. Commander Vorthak, I speak now for Earth's combined governments. Your fleet is defeated, but destruction has never been our goal. We offer you a choice, not submission, but partnership. Alina watched understanding dawn in the alien commander's eyes. You would trust us. After we tried to conquer you. Trust must begin somewhere. Alina replied. The Ganymede civilization trusted us with their knowledge, even knowing we might misuse it. We're offering you the same choice they gave us, a chance to break the cycle. Throughout the solar system, human and hegemony ships hung in space, their weapons powered down. On the Phoenix's bridge, Alina could feel the weight of history pressing down on this moment. They had achieved victory not just through superior tactics or technology, but by understanding a fundamental truth. Real strength lay not in the ability to conquer, but in the wisdom to know when not to. The Ganymede civilization. Vorthak spoke slowly. They didn't die out, did they? Alina smiled. No. They evolved. Moved beyond the need for physical form. The artifact wasn't just a warning. It was a test. They seeded similar artifacts throughout the galaxy, watching to see which civilizations would use the knowledge for conquest and which would use it for growth. And we failed their test, Vorthak realized. Until now, Alina corrected. It's not too late to make a different choice. To help us contact other civilizations, not to conquer them, but to break the cycle of violence. To create something new. The silence that followed felt heavy with possibility. In that moment, suspended between war and peace, humanity had offered something the hegemony had forgotten existed. Hope. The quantum encrypted transmission spread across Earth's hidden network of relay stations, carrying a message that would reshape galactic civilization. The hegemony fleet had officially surrendered. But this surrender was unlike any in their 1,000-year history of conquest. It came not with terms of submission, but with an invitation to change. In the Phoenix's main conference room, Captain Alina Santos sat across from Commander Vorthak, the space between them filled with holographic displays showing real-time data from across the solar system. General Okonjo's projection watched from one end of the table, while Dr. Chen's appeared at the other. The quantum signatures are unmistakable, Dr. Chen explained. manipulating a hologram of the Ganymede artifact. There are hundreds of similar devices scattered throughout the galaxy. Each one contains the same basic knowledge, but requires its discoverers to develop their own understanding and applications. A test of creativity, Vorthak mused, his iridescent skin shifting thoughtfully. We found our artifact 3,000 years ago, but we only saw the military applications we never considered. That was the point. Elena interjected. The Ganymede civilization, or whatever they've become, wanted to see how different species would use the same knowledge. Would they use it to dominate or to grow? General Okonjo's hologram nodded, which is why we're offering this partnership. Together, we can help other civilizations make better choices than either of us did alone. The displays shifted, showing the aftermath of the battle. Hegemony ships were being escorted to Mars orbit, where Earth's engineers had already begun sharing their innovations. The quantum fold drive improvements, the adaptive shield matrices, technologies that had evolved beyond their original hegemony designs. Your ship, Vorthak said, looking at Elena. The Phoenix. The name has meaning. Elena smiled. An Earth legend, a bird that rises from its own ashes, transformed. It seemed appropriate for humanity's first true starship, built not just with advanced technology, but with the hope of breaking cycles instead of continuing them. The other worlds we conquered, Vorthak's voice carried the weight of centuries. They could be helped to develop as you did. Better, Dr. Chen replied. With both our civilizations working together, we can offer guidance without control, show them possibilities without forcing paths. The displays shifted again, showing the first joint teams of human and hegemony scientists already beginning to work together. The rigid hierarchies of the hegemony were melting away in the face of humanity's more collaborative approach. There will be resistance, Vorthak warned. Many in the Empire will not accept this change easily. Change never comes easily, General Okonjo's hologram responded. But consider this. Your fleet was the most powerful in the Empire, yet we defeated it not through superior firepower, but through innovation and adaptation. That same creativity can now be turned to peace. Elena stood, walking to the window that overlooked Mars' surface. Below, the vast shipyards that had built humanity's defense fleet were being repurposed. We're not asking your people to submit or surrender their identity. We're offering a chance to rediscover who you were before conquest defined you. The artifact spoke of this, Vorthak said quietly. A junction point where civilizations either transcend their past or become bound by it. We thought we had passed that test when we survived our own conquest. You survived, Elena agreed, but at the cost of becoming what you feared. Now you have another chance. We all do. The room fell silent as the implications settled. Humanity had not just defended itself, it had created an opportunity for genuine change in the galaxy. The Phoenix itself was proof that advancement didn't have to mean destruction, that strength could serve creation rather than conquest. The first joint expedition leaves in a month, General Okonjo announced. A mission of contact and uplift to the worlds under hegemony control. Not to free them from you, but to free all of us from cycles of dominance. Dr. Chen's hologram manipulated the displays one final time, showing a map of known artifact locations. And perhaps together, we'll finally be ready to meet the civilization that set all this in motion. As the meeting concluded, Elena remained at the window, watching crews of humans and hegemony engineers working side by side. The Phoenix had been built to defend Earth, but its true purpose was now clear, to light the way towards something new. Captain, Vorthak spoke from behind her. My people have a saying. The strongest metal is forged in the hottest fire. Perhaps that is what the Ganymede civilization intended. Not just to test us, but to forge something stronger from our conflict. Elena nodded, watching as the first rays of Martian dawn caught the crystalline hulls of the combined fleet. Humanity had reached for the stars expecting to find war, only to discover a chance for transformation instead. The real victory wasn't in defeating the hegemony, but in proving that even the oldest of patterns could be broken, that the future wasn't bound by the past. The Phoenix would fly again, but not as a weapon of war. It would lead a new kind of fleet, one dedicated not to conquest, but to awakening the potential in every civilization it encountered. The cycle of conquest that had dominated galactic history for millennia was finally breaking, and in its place, something new was taking flight.